SBA Publications.
Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope that you are very nice and reading really well. So today we are going to read a very interesting play, that is our chapter number 10. The name of our play is Exchanging of Gifts. So let's start with the reading. Here is a play performed by some characters. Read it carefully and enjoy the play. So we have some characters here who are performing this play. So let's read it. So we have 4 narrators in the play. Narrator 1. In a mud hut far from town lived an old grass cutter named Walidad. So here narrator 1 is telling us that in a hut made up of mud there used to live an old grass cutter and his name was Walidad. Narrator 4. Every morning Walidad cut and bundled tall wild grass. Every afternoon he sold it as fodder in the marketplace. So every morning Walidad cuts grass and then in the evening he sells the bundled up grass as fodder. Fodder means food of animals. Narrator 2. Each day he earned 30 paise. How much he earned? 30 paise every day. 10 of the small coins went for food, out of which he spent 10 on food. 10 went for clothes and other needs. 10 went for what? Clothes and other needs. And 10 he saved in a clay pot under his bed. And the remaining 10 paise he would save in a pot of clay which he kept under his bed. Narrator 3. In this manner, Walidad lived happily for many years, and following this way, he lived very happily for so many years. Narrator 1. One evening, Walidad dragged out the pot to see how much money it held. He was amazed to find that his coins had filled up to the brim. So what happened? One day he decides to see how much he has saved in his pot. So when he brings out his pot, he was amazed to see that the pot is filled up to the top. Walidad says to himself, what am I to do with all this money? I need nothing more than I have. So this old man, he says that what am I going to do with so much money? I don't need anything. This is all what I have. I am happy with all this. Narrator 4. Walidad thought and thought. At last he had an idea. Narrator 2. The next day, Walidad loaded the money into a sack and carried it to a jeweler in the marketplace. He exchanged all his coins for a lovely gold bracelet. So what he does when he thinks what to do with the money, he decides to take the money to a jeweler and he exchanges the money with a very lovely gold bracelet. Narrator 3. Then Walidad visited the home of a traveling merchant. Then Walidad goes to the home of a traveling merchant, a merchant who travels. Walidad, tell me in all the world who is the noblest lady. So he asks the merchant, who is the noblest lady in the world? The merchant replies without doubt, it is the young queen of Khaistan. So he tells him that the queen of Khaistan. I often visit her palace. It is just 3 days' journey to the east. So he tells him the direction. It is a 3 days journey. Walidad, do me a kindness. The next time you pass that way, give her this little bracelet with my compliments. So Walidad says that give the queen this bracelet with my best compliments next time you go there. Narrator 1. The merchant was astonished, but he agreed to do what the rag grass cutter asked. So, at first the merchant was surprised, but then he agrees to do what the man was asking for. Narrator 4. Soon after the merchant reached at the palace of the queen of Khaistan, he presented the bracelet to her as a gift from Walidad. So, soon after the merchant reaches there, he meets the queen, he gives her the bracelet and tells her that this is a gift from Walidad. The queen, admiring the bracelet. How lovely! Your friend must accept a gift in return. My servants will load a camel with the finest silks. So the queen now, she wishes to give Walidad a gift in return. So she says that my servants will load a camel with finest silk. Okay. The narrator second. When the merchant arrived back home, he brought the silks to the hut of Walidad. So the merchant, he takes the silk to the hut of Walidad. Walidad, oh no, this is worse than before. What am I to do with such finery? Now Walidad thinks, what am I supposed to do with this? Merchant, perhaps you could give it to someone else. So merchant says, you can give it to someone else. Narrator 3. Walidad thought for a moment. Then Walidad is asking the merchant again, tell me in all the world who is the noblest man? At first he asked for the noblest woman. Now he is asking for the noblest man. Merchant, that is simple. It is the young king of Nikabad. His palace too I often visit. So the merchant is saying, I often visit his palace. Just 3 days journey to the west. The queen was 3 days journey to the east, and this is to the west. Walidad, then do me another kindness. On your next trip there, give him these silks with my compliments. So he says that give this silk to the king with my compliments. Narrator 1. The merchant was amused, but he agreed. Now the merchant again agrees. On his next journey, he presented the silk to the king of Nikabad. So this man, this merchant, he gives the king on his next journey that silk, which was given by Walidad. A splendid gift. The king was pleased that the gift is very beautiful. In return, your friend must have 12 of my finest horses. So the king sends 12 horses for Walidad. Narrator 2. So the merchant brought the king's horses to Walidad. Now the merchant takes his horses to Walidad. This grows worse and worse. Walidad is trying to get rid of everything he does not need. What could I do with 12 horses? Thinks for a moment. I know who should have such a gift. I beg you, keep 2 horses for yourself and take the rest to the queen of Khaistan. So now he is saying that to the merchant that keep 2 horses for yourself and give other 10 to the queen which you visited last time. Narrator 3. The merchant thought this was very funny, but he consented. On his next visit to the queen's palace, he gave her the horses. So what happens? At first the merchant was thinking that this is very funny, but then he agrees, and on his next journey to the queen, he gives her the horses. Narrator 1. Now the queen was perplexed. She whispered to her prime minister, why does this Walidad persist in sending gifts? I have never heard of him. So the queen is asking her minister, why is this man sending me gifts? I have never even heard of him. Minister 1. Why don't you discourage him? Send him a gift so rich he can never hope to match. So the queen is saying, the minister is suggesting the queen that send her a gift that he can never imagine of. And then he will be discouraged. Narrator 4. So in return for the 10 horses from Walidad, the queen sent back 20 mules loaded with silver. Now, what happens when the merchant and mules arrived back at the hut? Walidad groaned. Now he was annoyed. What have I done to deserve this? Friend, spare an old man. Keep 2 mules and their silver for yourself and take the rest to the king of Nikabad. Now he is asking the merchant to keep 2 mules and give others to the king of Nikabad. Narrator 3. The merchant was getting uneasy. Now the merchant was also getting tired. What am I to do? But he could not refuse such a generous offer. But he could not deny because the 2 mules was being offered to him also. So not long after, he found himself presenting the silver-laden mules to the king of Nikabad. Now he presented the gift to the king. Narrator 1. The king too was perplexed and asked Prime Minister for advice. Now king is also asking for advice. Why is this man giving me gifts? Minister 2nd. Perhaps this Walidad seeks to prove himself better. So the minister is saying, I think he is trying to prove himself that he is better than you. Why not send him a gift he can never think of? Now he also advises him to send him a gift that he can never think of. Narrator 4. So the king sent back 20 camels with golden anklets. So 20 camels who are wearing golden anklets. Narrator 3. 20 horses with golden bridles and stirrups. Not only camels, 20 horses with golden bridles and stirrups. 20 elephants with golden seats mounted on their backs, and 20 liveried servants to care for them all. So now the king is sending him camels, horses, and elephants, and whatnot. He is sending servants to take care of those elephants also. When the merchant guided the servants and animals to Walidad's hut, the grass cutter was amazed. Walidad, Wali, bad fortune never ends. Please do not stop for a minute. Keep for yourself two of each animal and take the rest to the queen of Khaisan. Now what he is doing basically, he is taking the gifts of king of Nekabad and giving them to the queen, and taking the queen's gifts and taking them to the king. And in middle of this, the merchant is being very much blessed with gifts. Merchant, distressed, how can I go to her again? But Walidat pleaded so hard, the merchant consented to go just once more. So the merchant agrees to go for just one more time. Narrator 1. This time the queen was stunned by the magnificence of Walidat's gift. She turned again to her prime minister. Now queen again turns to her minister as she was surprised. Clearly the man wishes to marry you. So the prime minister is saying that I think the man wants to marry you. Since his gifts are so fine, perhaps you should meet him. So he is suggesting the queen that she should meet Walidat. So the queen ordered a great caravan with countless horses, camels, and elephants, with the trembling merchant as guide. She and her court set out to visit great Walidat. So she left with her court with so many animals and a proper caravan to meet Walidat. Narrator 2nd. On the third day, the caravan made camp, and the queen sent the merchant ahead to tell Walidat of her coming. When Walidat heard the merchant's news, his head sank to his hands. Now, what happened after that? Walidat mournfully. So now he has started to mourn. Oh no, now I will be paid for all my foolishness. I have brought shame on myself, on you, and on the queen. What are we to do? Merchant. I fear they can do nothing. So now Walidat is thinking that something bad is going to happen. And the merchant says that I fear they cannot do anything. Narrator 3. And the merchant headed back to the caravan. And the merchant moves back to the caravan. Narrator 1. The next morning, Walidat rose before dawn. Walidat sadly, goodbye, old hut. I will never see you again. So he says bye to his hut. Narrator 4. The old grass cutter walked down the road, but he had not gone far when he heard a voice. So he was walking and then he hears a voice. Pari 1, gently, where are you going, Walidat? Narrator 2. He turned and saw two radiant ladies. So, when Walidat turns, he sees two ladies who are shining, who are radiant. Narrator 3. He knew at once they were paris from paradise. So, he knew that they were paris, that they were angels from paradise. Walidat kneels. I am a stupid old man. Let me go my way. I cannot face my shame. So he was trying to run away when these angels stopped him, and now he is saying that please let me go my way. I cannot face what is going to happen. Pari 2nd. No shame can come to a man like you. Though your clothes are poor, in your heart you are a king. So the Pari is saying that even though your clothes are of a poor man, but inside the heart you are a king. Narrator 1. The Pari touched him on the shoulder. Narrator 4. To his amazement, he saw his rags turn to fine clothes, a jeweled turban set on his head. The rusty sickle at his waist was now a gleaming scimitar. Now, as the Pari touched him, he turned into a different person. His clothes were simply converted into nice clothes, and he was completely jeweled. Pari 1. Return Validat, all is as it should be. So the Pari says that you should go back, everything is now set. Narrator 2nd. Validat looked behind him where his hut had stood. A splendid palace sparkled in the rising sun. So what happened? His hut has also been converted into a palace. Narrator 3. In shock, he turned to the Paris, but they had vanished. So he was shocked by seeing that palace, and when he turns back to face the Paris, they had already vanished. Narrator 1. Validad hurried back along the road. As he entered the palace, the guards gave a salute. Servants bowed to him, then rushed here and there, preparing for the visitors. So he starts preparing for the visitors to come. Narrator 4. Validad wandered through countless rooms, gaping at the riches beyond his imagination. So he was looking what the Paris had done for him, and now he was being amazed. Narrator 2nd. Suddenly, three servants ran up. Suddenly, three servants come, announcing, a caravan from the east. Servant 2. No, a caravan from the west. Servant 3. No, caravans from both east and west. So, caravans are coming from both directions, from east and west. That means the king was also coming. Narrator 3. The bewildered Validas rushed outside to see two caravans halt before the palace. Coming from the east was a queen in jeweled litter. Coming from the west was a king on a fine horse. Narrator 1. Validad hurried to the queen. My dear, queen says, my dear Validad, we meet at last. Looks at king. But who is that magnificent king? So queen looks at Validat and she is gladly saying that, my dear Validat, finally we have met. And then she looks at the king and asks, who is this king? Validat, I believe it is the king of Nekabad, your majesty. Please excuse me for a moment. So Validat says that please excuse me for a moment. I think he is the king of Nekabad. He rushed over to the king. Now he goes over to the king. The king says, my dear Validat, I had to meet the giver of such fine gifts. He looks at the queen, but who is that splendid queen? So both king and queen, they were very glad to meet Validat, but they also admired each other as they were the noblest. Validat smiling, the queen of Khaistan, your majesty, please come and meet her. So he says, please come meet the queen. Narrator 2. And so the king of Nekabad met the queen of Khaistan, and the two fell instantly in love. And when they meet each other, they instantly fall in love. Narrator 3. A few days later, their marriage took place in the palace of Validat, and they got married in the palace of Validat after a few days. And the celebration went on for many days, and for many days the celebration went on. At last, Validad had said goodbye to all his guests. The very next morning, he rose before dawn, crept quietly from the palace, and walked down the road. So, the next morning, he woke up early and he walked out of the palace. Narrator 4. But he had not gone far when he heard a voice. So, he again hears a voice. Pari 1. Where are you going, Validat? Narrator 2. He turned and again saw the two Paris. And Validat sees again two Paris. Validat kneels. Did I not tell you I am a stupid old man? I should be glad for what I have received. But, Pari 2nd, say no more. You shall have your heart's desire. Narrator 3. And she touched him again. So, Pari says that you will have what you really want. And she touches him again. Narrator 1. So, Validat became once more a grass cutter. So, he again becomes a grass cutter as he wanted to live the life he used to live. Narrator 4. He lived happily in his hut for the rest of his days. Narrator 2. And he often thought warmly of his friends, the king and the queen. And he also remembered the king and the queen. Narrator 3. He was careful never to send them another gift. So now he took care that he never sent a gift for them ever again. Now, let's see the vocabulary, as I think you must have found the chapter very interesting. Anklet, a piece of jewelry worn around the ankle. Beside himself, unable to control himself because of strong emotion. bewildered, confused. Bracelet, a piece of jewelry worn around the wrist or arm. Bridle, leather bands put around a horse's head. Brim, the top edge of a cup, bowl, or glass. Caravan is a covered vehicle that is pulled by a horse and used for living in. Compliments, words of praise and admiration. Fodder, food for horses and farm animals. Litter, a kind of chair that was used in the past for carrying important people. Liveried, wearing servants' uniform. Magnificent, extremely attractive and impressive. Mule, an animal that has a horse and a donkey as parents. Perplexed, confused, and anxious. Radiant is glowing. Ragged is wearing old or torn clothes. Scimitar is a short curved sword. Sickle is a curved tool used for cutting grass. Stirrups are metal rings used to support a horse rider's feet. Okay. Turban is a cloth worn around the head. So that's it for the chapter. Now we have this exercise and I hope you will be able to do it well by yourself. I hope you enjoyed the chapter and you will do the exercise really well. So that's it for today. I will see you in the next video with another interesting chapter. Bye bye.